here we are in the presentation of who are they, introducing the 2015-2016 club officers for the Wrightwood-Ashburn Overcomers Toastmasters Club. I want to first share with you a little bit of a backstory to give you some insight as to why this presentation is taking place. First off, the individuals that you see on the screen that our Toastmaster introduced are the current club members of the Wrightwood-Ashburn Overcomers Toastmasters Club. We also call ourselves WAO. We got together on the weekend of July 17th through 19th, and we did our third annual Club Officer Planning Retreat. It was an opportunity for us to get away from the distractions of Chicago, take advantage of the seclusion of Fenwick, Michigan, and enjoy the heritage space of our president, Dushan Mosley, and his brother, Sidney Mosley, who have allowed us to use their family facility for the last 3 years. It's an opportunity for us to come together, brainstorm, and start planning for the WAO Club year. The idea came about because of me, Cassandra Lee, the sponsor of WAO Toastmasters Club. I decided, being in Chicago, trying to plan for the success of our club, there are way too many distractions. And when we plan for the success of our club, there are 3 particular things we must be mindful of. In order for us to tackle those 3 things, we should get away from Chicago, which is why we went to Mosley's Retreat. While there at Mosley's Retreat this year in July, what we tackled was number 1, completing the Distinguished Club program. The goal plan that Tony was talking about in the pre-meeting workshop, setting goals. This is the goal plan for the club. We have 10 goals every single year we must complete as a club, where every WAO member has to contribute, where every new member adds to the success of that plan. And for the officers, we needed to know what those 10 goals were and start identifying members who could help us to achieve this plan. The second tackle, or the second point that we tackled while at the retreat, which really does require some time, and that is our entire club year. From July 1st until June 30th, every second Saturday, every fourth Saturday, what are we doing in our club year? The club calendar helps us to identify that. If you go out to the WAO website right now and take a look at our club calendar, you will see the tentative plan for every single meeting that we will be in this library doing and any other events that will be taking place. It's all captured, and we as officers had to focus on that while we were at the retreat. One other thing we did at the retreat is that we hung out. We got to know each other. That camaraderie is another aspect of the retreat, that final aspect of the retreat. I'm the founding member of this organization, this club, so I've been around for 10 years. I've seen people come and go, and I've seen people come up in here with some attitudes, with some bad habits, and the friction. And camaraderie has been very, very important for this club. We're known as the WAO, or the Wrightwood-Ashburn Overcomers, because part of what we sometimes overcome are the bad ways in which we interact with people. One of our trademarks that you will see even if you look at our website is that people say we're family. You guys get that we're family? Man, it took a long time to get there. Take a look at 2 of the comments that were made from this year's retreat. The first comment says, "It was a great bonding experience, lots of education and laughs with a good group of people. We were able to pave the road for the club's success in 2015-2016. Sounds like they're talking about the goal plan and the calendar primarily, doesn't it? Here's the second comment. "I would encourage members to accept a leadership role or position to not only challenge themselves, however, to prepare them for elevated levels of leadership in Toastmasters, such as an area director now, or a division director, or a district director. I would definitely encourage them to attend the retreat because we need a day and a half to really understand how WAO and Toastmasters function." I don't know exactly who wrote that comment, which out of the 7 said it, but notice what they're recognizing. The retreat gave us an opportunity to focus for a solid day and a half on some of the goals. It also helps us with thinking about leadership beyond the club. And those comments that were provided for this year's retreat, 100% of the officers recognized camaraderie was important. We all got a chance to get to know each other. That was an awesome thing. Compared to back in 2013, when only 72% of the club officers said that camaraderie was good. We have 100% of people saying this year, it was great that we did the retreat away from Chicago at Mosley's Retreat to get together to know each other. This particular workshop started with giving you some backstory. The reason why I wanted to give you the backstory is because what you're about to learn for this workshop, we actually did the weekend of July 17th through 18th. So I want to make certain that I share with you something we discovered, which was about our styles, who we are. Many of you have gotten to know me personally, so you recognize that I pay attention to styles, personality styles, communication styles, and that's how I'm able to partner you with mentors. You'll figure out today that handout that I handed you will assist you with knowing who we are based on our styles. Also, our goals. As club officers, we're responsible for the administration of the club. Notice I said the administration of the club, not necessarily running the club meetings. Who runs the club meetings? Members. Members. Which officers happens to be members. So we will, at time to time, as you saw Quentin today serving as Toastmaster, we will serve in leadership roles for meetings. Yet really, we have goals we are going to accomplish for the administration of running this club until June 30th of next year. Final component of this workshop is to make certain that you get a chance to ask us some questions and getting to know who we are. We're some interesting individuals, very much alike, more so than different, yet we all have different nuances, and you'll have an opportunity to figure out some of those as we go through this workshop. So let me get started with styles. We did something called the Team Dynamic Assessment. It's more or less a personality assessment. If you've ever done a personality assessment, clap for me one time. Good. So you have done a personality assessment to know your behavioral style, your work style, and or your communication style. Really depends upon what the purpose of the assessment was for. What we learned with doing the Team Dynamic Assessment is that it allows us to look at 4 dimensions of behavior. It also gave us an opportunity to understand more about what our personal communication styles are. In addition to, it proved a couple of things for us as well. Like, there's no good or bad communication style. Have you ever communicated though with someone who got on your last nerve? So it would seem like there are some bad communication styles, yet there are different personality styles, or I should say communication styles. Also, we learned from the assessment there are no right or wrong answers. As we were going through answering 80 different statements, we were trying to figure out, okay, is this the right one for me? And really, we had to make certain that we didn't second guess it. Just go ahead and answer and select the choice that was best representing us. Finally, we were able to gain insight into communication styles and tendencies, which you'll find they will come out in the Q&A section for us when you learn the officers. Team dynamic styles, there were 4. We have the action style, process style, people style, idea style. Those are the 4 styles. Now, when we did the assessment, we looked at our scores. There were 4 categories of scores. We had to figure out how many answers we created or had answered in each section. And those different sections started to let us know based on the highest. So based on the highest and the second highest scores, which of the categories we fell into. So today, you're going to learn our primary communication style along with our secondary communication style. Yet I'm going to play a guessing game with you first. I'm going to give you some insight on the different styles, and I want you to see if you can guess which of us fall into the different categories. So why don't we start? You know the 7 people, right? Club officers, stand again so the members can look around the room. Stand so they can look around the room. So Dushan is there, I'm here. Quentin is there. Our VPP, or you can stay sitting. She's in the front because she's videotaping, and our 3 other officers are in the back. All right, so those are our officers. Officers, go ahead and have a seat. Let's get started with guessing. Now, the very first style I mentioned is our action style. Some of our officers are seen as action style members. That basically means they focus on results and objectives. They're focused on achieving and doing. This style can also be seen as pragmatic, direct, decisive, and energetic. Based on the 7 of us, I want you to use your handout. In the circle for action, put the name of the officer or officers that you believe are an action style member. Take a few seconds to jot that down before I move on to the next category. All right. I said a few seconds, so I'm moving to the next style. You had an opportunity on your handout to go ahead and jot down the style or the individual that you think has this style. So let me go on to our second communication style, which is the process style. The process style is the style that focuses on facts, strategies, planning, organizing. This style can also be seen as systematic, logical, factual, as well as patient. Take your handout again. Out of the 7 of us, which of us do you believe fall into the process style category? On your handout in the process style circle, write down a name or all of the names, however many officers you want to identify.
Go back to that last screen.
Go back to the last screen?
Yes.
There we go. All right. So you've taken a few seconds to jot down the name of the officer or officers that you believe are a process style officer. Let's go next to our third style, people. This style is the style that focuses on communication, relationship, teamwork, and feelings. This style can also be seen as spontaneous, empathetic, emotional, and perceptive. Out of the 7 WAO Club officers, who do you believe is in this category? I'll leave this screen up. That way you can take a few moments to review the information while you also decide your answer and write it on your handout in the circle for people. Moving on to our fourth and final style, we have the idea style. This is the style that can focus on concepts and theories, innovation, along with improvement. This style can also be seen as imaginative, charismatic, creative, along with provocative. Now, out of the 7 club officers of WAO this year, which one or which ones of us do you believe fall into the ideas category? Go ahead and take a moment to jot your answer on the handout in the circle that says ideas. You've had an opportunity to answer for all of the 4 styles. The idea style was the last style. Overall, we have 1 action style represented as primary, 1 process style that's represented as primary, 4 people styles that are represented as primary, and 2 idea styles that are represented as primary. Yet when we talk about the secondary style, we have no action styles at all. We have 3 process styles, 2 people styles, and 3 idea styles. So overall, out of all 7 of us, every category of the communication styles is represented. The question becomes, which of us have those styles as the primary style and the secondary style. We'll see how you guessed in a moment. Let's go ahead and get acquainted with our panel. At this point, I'm going to introduce each of the 7 officers by reviewing their goals. That will give them an opportunity to come up front, to actually stand in front of the technology table, and as I introduce them, based on their goals, I'll then reveal to you their styles to see if your answers were correct. Let us start with introducing our WAO Club officers for 2015-2016, and we'll start with our club president. He's someone who is going to use and lead WAO to the President's Distinguished Status again. He's also going to make certain that he trains WAO Toastmaster members on technology for business and personal use, so don't forget, be here next Saturday, 9:30, for his PowerPoint presentation. And finally, he's going to manage the WAO Executive Committee by using project management techniques. Everyone, please welcome to the room our action and ideas people style, Mr. Dushan Mosley. Because I'm facilitating, I'll stay here, yet just know that my primary goals are to make certain that I continue to use education to train our members, that I also will use a variety of educational workshops, hence Cassandra Griffin being here today is one of those. Finally, I am going to work with each of our WAO members to make certain the goals are achieved of education, so that way we can have 65% of our members certified with educational awards this year. My primary style, process. My secondary style is people. Hello, everybody. VPE. Moving on to our third officer, Quentin Brewington. We saw him as the president, or as the Toastmaster today. He is our vice president of membership. His primary goal is to have multiple committees to assist with membership building and retention efforts. His second primary goal is to make certain that he can conduct 3 membership building campaigns from Toastmasters International. You will hear about one of them today in his report. Last but not least, we've already seen him establishing brand awareness for us, and he's going to do that through the use of social media for membership recruitment and retention. Everyone, his primary style is people. His secondary style is ideas. Everyone welcome Quentin Brewington. You'll see you put the video camera down. She had to. Tammy Brewington, everyone, is our Vice President of Public Relations. Her primary goal is to produce a quarterly club newsletter featuring WAO special events and stories of overcoming. We saw her first issue last month. Her second goal is to make certain that she can establish brand awareness for us by creating a Facebook page, a Twitter page, and YouTube. Man, we have that Facebook page, Cassandra, because of the young lady sitting in front of you. We got to get the likes up from 41 to more. Yet Tammy Brewington, everyone helped that. And she has one final goal, to create a public relations campaign to spread the word about us. Her primary style, it's just like her husband's. Check that out. People, secondary is ideas. Everyone welcome Tammy Brewington. The club is Valerie Lyons. She had a nice set of goals, and she actually laid it out this way. She's going to maintain the club record so we can sustain club records and make certain that nobody complains about having the club records. She is going to make certain that we have meeting minutes, not only for club meetings, she's also going to do it for executive committee meetings. Her primary style is ideas. Her secondary style is process. Everyone welcome Ms. Valerie Lyons. Our next club officer is handling the dues. So that means if you haven't yet paid your club dues, you want to make certain that you get them into Lisa Kearns today, because she's our treasurer. Her primary goal is to learn more about her role by attending training and receiving coaching, which she's been doing. She's also focused on achieving another goal by making sure she can collaborate with the executive committee on ensuring her awareness of where we should be spending our money in case we also need to do fundraisers, which we've already identified. We need some fundraisers. Last goal she has is to meet all of the deadlines associated with club dues, because if she doesn't, we will be seen as an inactive club, and a lot of our members won't be able to compete in speech contests. So here to welcome everyone, our treasurer, whose primary style is people. Yes, she has 2 secondary styles of process and ideas. Welcome, Lisa Kearns, everyone. Last but not least, this is the gentleman that greets you at the door. We've seen him deliver his goal achievement speech today, which is speech number 9. Yeah, he's our sergeant at arms. This man has a goal. This room is set because of him. He's established the setup in this way. We've never had it before, and it's been working. That's his number 1 goal: prep the room to receive members and guests. Make certain that he can stay current on what's going on. So he will be using that club calendar to make sure he knows what's happening at our meetings, because this room arrangement might need to change based on what's happening. His last goal is to assist with other duties as necessary, and that's exactly what he's been doing. We just a moment ago saw him on the video camera over there, making sure the panel could be videotaped. His primary style, everyone, is people. His secondary style is process. Welcome, Anthony Hardy. This is something that will be placed on our website, so that way you'll have, for quick reference for the future, details about who we are as a leader. As you know, I said every single one of the communication styles were represented. Yet, when we started to break it down between primary versus secondary, we all fell into different categories. I'll leave this up, because you guys seem to be interested in this. I'll leave this up as the Q&A section happens. I want to, at this point, open up the panel to you, being able to ask the officers questions. Deshaun, move down a little bit so that way Anthony doesn't have to loop. Okay. Well, how about we do this so it's not a distraction? There we go. You guys are the center anyway. That PowerPoint shouldn't be on. There we go. I'm opening the floor now to the audience. Based on what you've learned about us, our goals, our communication styles, are there any particular questions that come to mind for you? Mr. Timer, let me know, how many minutes do we have left?
5 minutes, 10 seconds.
Great, thank you for that. So in our 5 minutes and 10 seconds, any questions that you have for any of us audience that you would like to ask? If you do, please stand so that I can recognize you.
Tracy Ice.
Go ahead.
That is amazing. I love that, and I love how you have a team, a power team that works together. Is there any way that can be duplicated to some of the other clubs, as well as perhaps even the district?
We have actually been considering that. Definitely it can be done at other clubs. I could conduct it as a workshop, maybe not quite a full 3-day retreat, but definitely this segment can be conducted as a workshop where we also bring in the moments of truth. So that way club officers see how their roles and their goals fit with the moments of truth, which is really the distinguished club program, yet we incorporate this information as well, so that way they know how their styles match their roles and can assist them with achieving their goals.
And can I say this? It's very important that clubs do take the time. We're trying to build a strong club, and we're trying to build it so that not only 1 or 2 people can run the club, that a plethora of people can run the club. 10 or 12 people can run the club. And so when people are out at the deck meetings, other people they're back up. I mean, you can hear defense at the first part of the meeting and at the first officers, and there's a whole bunch of people back there that can do just the same job. And that's what we're trying to represent here. And what we need is all the people who join this club to step up to the plate and say, hey, I just don't want to be a good speaker, but I also want to be a great leader.
Tracy, thank you for your question. Thank you. Eddie Williams, go for it.
I would like to direct this question to Lisa and to Tony. You guys seem to be real quiet. First meeting. Did you see yourself being an officer for the new year 6 months ago?
Honestly, I did not. One of the reasons I wanted to step up into the role is so that I can continue to develop and go and step into the area that I really want to step into. This is preparing me for more of a leadership role. And even though it seems small and minute, it's really helping me to go in the direction that I want to go to. So 6 months ago, no, I wouldn't have seen this, but it was brought to me, and I decided that this was going to be a benefit towards the goal that I wanted to do for myself.
Okay, Tony?
I saw myself, when I first came into the organization, stepping into some type of role. I knew that was my goal, is to get involved, get into some type of role in order to keep me going. Because if I didn't, I probably would just fell by the wayside. But that was my whole intentions. Once I came to the WAO Club, immediately get involved, start doing something. That's what I did. I didn't know which role that I was going to do, but it was going to be some type of role.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Eddie, for your question. Mr. Brooks.
I'll get up. No. Have any of you considered assistants for your position? And if so, how will you use them?
Definitely. At this club, we have a committee in back. So it's just not one of us, it's several people. And what we try to do, maybe not right at the beginning, but definitely in the January area, we have to pick people who are going to succeed.
Absolutely.
And so we have to start training them, and hopefully they'll continue on. But yes, there's a committee.
And Quentin, can you also add an answer to that, since you are currently an officer that is using a committee?
Why, sure. Well, I think having additional people to help out, well, naturally, I'm a sharer. I like to share. We talk. I'll call you. There's no filter with me. It's just I like to share. When I have ideas, they're non-linear. They just come. I call. So I'm actually working with an action team now that consists of Maurice, Karshina, James Etta, and Shantae, who isn't here. So to filter the process and also keep them abreast with everything, I share. Whether email, phone call, voicemail, because I know that our role, I may be in this role actively for a year, but at least if we could establish a system with the project that we're doing right now for membership, if we can put that system in place, we can run it at any point in the year, and we can change our leads. It doesn't have to be me. If I've already achieved my desired educational goals, let's put somebody else in the driver's seat to do the same thing. It's a duplicatable process.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks, for your question. I received the time limit from our time limit, which means our panel discussion has come to an end. Yet in this panel, you had an opportunity to see all 7 of the WAO Club officers, learn about our goals as club officers in assisting this club, running it as the administration team of the club, and you learned about our communication styles. We have a primary style and a secondary style. Lisa Kearns and Dushan Mosley are the ones that have at least 2 styles. He has his primary as 2, his secondary as 1. Lisa has her primary as 1, her secondary as 2. All the rest of us have 1 primary and 1 secondary. Finally, you had an opportunity to ask questions. We heard a few questions from the audience. We heard the officers' responses. Although we may not have heard from every single panelist today, we didn't hear from VPPR. We didn't hear from our secretary, Valerie Lyons, yet you had a chance to learn more about them. Everyone, it was my pleasure to conduct this panel to at least give you more awareness and insight into who we are. From my perspective, my hope, my prayer is that you learn more about us. Mr. Toastmaster.